Welcome to the Morning Slice. This is your host, Brianna McNerney, and I'm back today to talk about what's taking so long, which might seem totally out of nowhere to some of you listeners. I'm sure that nobody has questioned how quickly this podcast is being released, but that's part of what we're talking about today. Like, literally, what is taking so long to get the morning slice out fully into the world. But also, I'm taking the opportunity to support you if you've ever felt this way. Like, what's taking so long for this thing that I'm working towards? I'm putting in all the effort. I'm doing the work, both internally and externally. And for some reason, this goal that I'm working towards, it's just taking so long. Like, what is happening? I'm going to talk a little bit about that and at least let you know what I'm doing right now to soothe these feelings in my own life so that I can actually get the things done, and what I'm doing to move myself forward a little bit more, quickly, but in a consistent way. So let's talk about it. First of all, we'll talk about the podcast. Like, this is what I'm experiencing with this question in my own life. Like, what's taking so long? This is how it looks for me. I've been working on this podcast that you're listening to now for a long time. The interviews that have just recently been released were both recorded a year ago. Maybe even more than a year ago at this point. I think they were both recorded in July of 2020, and we're now in August of 2021, and I'm just releasing them. And I actually have 3 more interviews recorded, just waiting to be edited and released to you. But I feel like it's been taking me a long time to really get this out there, to not only record and edit, but also share about what's going on. And like, it feels like it's been taking a long time. It's felt kind of hard. And at the same time, since the moment I had the idea to make a podcast, it felt really good to me. Like, I like sitting here with this microphone and talking to you. I've always heard from people that they love the sound of my voice, that they could just listen to me talk all day and it's calming. Like, I love this idea of having a podcast. And honestly, I've loved the process of getting it out into the world too, even if I do feel at times like it's taking a while. But part of what's taking so long is, like, for a while there, I had lost my confidence in myself. Like, I genuinely, especially when it came time to record these solo episodes, I was like, what do I have to say that anybody wants to listen to? Like, does anybody care what I have to say? I don't know. Like, I was not convinced. And part of that is that entrepreneurship has not been a straight line for me, like, not by a long shot. When I left healthcare, I had this really big idea for conscious wholeness, what now is conscious wholeness. I had no idea what it was then. No idea, but I had this big idea that I wanted to, like, create an alternative healthcare system, really. And but, like, I saw the path as being coaching and, like, coaching services And like, I don't know, it's just taken a while to figure out what the heck I'm doing. I didn't know what I was doing. And like, I'm sure if you've known me for this whole time, there are some people listening maybe that are like, yeah, we knew you had no idea what you were doing. But like, I love to learn, and I'm proud of myself for sticking with it at this point. I think this is why I'm feeling a greater ease about coming to record more often now that I have had to build my confidence back up. And part of it is like, if you're not feeling a lot of success as an entrepreneur or professionally in any capacity, like that, I mean, it impacts your financial well-being as well. And we live in a society where if you aren't raking in the dollars to like keep up with the peers that are around you, or like the other people that people are, watching, comparing you to, the social image that's expected, it's kind of like on the outskirts, I guess, to be a person who is like broke as hell and just like having a grand old time. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't talk about what other people perceive. I should just say that for me, struggling financially, it really made me question my worth. It made me question the worth of what I bring to the world. It made me question if anybody wants what I do. And like, I know that people do, especially when it comes to conscious wholeness. I hear people asking for it all the time. It's been a really maddening journey at points. And this is part of just what's taken so long. Like, I had to work through that. I'm not a person who wants to come and preach to you if I'm not feeling confident in the message that I have. Like, I care about being thorough and thoughtful in what I'm bringing to the table. If I could be wrong, I will say that, or I will completely not offer that until I've like sussed it out for myself. So I guess there was a part of me that just I had more growing to do before I was ready to start recording these solo episodes. Another thing is like, I had to learn the process, I had to literally learn how to make a podcast from step one. And that will be an episode, I'm sure, at some point, is like, how do I launch my podcast? Because I've managed to do it with like a shoestring budget and all by myself. So I know if anybody's a hardcore do-it-yourself sort of person, that would be an episode for you if you're interested in launching a podcast in the future. I know that like I just was I had to put the pieces together, so if there's anything I can do to help you put the pieces together, I would love to do that. But like, I just had to learn. I had to learn how to work my recording equipment. I had to learn how to, find hosting, and like how to edit, and like how to market it. I had to just learn each step along the way, and it took me a long time. Tech is something that I really benefit from having support with, because yes, I can do it. I can absolutely pick up things with computers and like equipment and the tech side of things, but it's not my forte. It kind of exhausts me. So it's taken a while to get comfortable recording these episodes and like getting them out to you, then as I start to edit, part of the process, it's like my perfectionism started to come up, which I think relates to the lack of confidence, right? I would just hear myself in these interviews, and I actually genuinely enjoyed the interviews, hands down, first and foremost. But there were certainly moments where I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I would have asked this question. I wish I would have leaned in more there. And, I just had to reflect and process, and like, I hope you know that I care about being a better podcast host for you, especially if you follow along. You deserve only the best, and I aim to be the best for you. So yeah, like, these are some of the things that I think have been holding me up. But I'm so glad to be here recording now and doing it with more ease and hopefully more and more over time, so I can show up for you more and more over time. So how can you take this and apply it to what's going on for you? Let's get into the real good stuff for those of you who sat through my end of things. And I know we appreciate stories around here, so my guess is that maybe there was something that you could resonate with, or something that sparked for you in what I said about my own experience. But I want to offer not only some perspectives that you can use to look at your situation when you're wondering what's taking so long with this project that I'm working on, this goal that I have, this desire that I have, what's going on. And I know how this feels. So I'll just say first and foremost that part of the framework I'm offering here are very related to conscious wholeness, which I've mentioned in previous episodes and even in this episode. I will link to that in the comments if these are concepts that you would love more support with. I love the conscious wholeness content. It's something I very much still lean on myself, but there are a few concepts here that I want to share related. So acceptance is one of the first things I ever taught inside of conscious wholeness, back when it was mental wholeness several years ago, and it was just like a small group program. But really accepting the situation for what it is, accepting where you are in life and loving it for what it is, So like, part of what I love about where I am in business, the fact that my businesses have grown slowly, that my clarity is growing slowly, is that it's offered me all the time flexibility that I need to build new relationships, to do the growth that's required internally, to put myself where I want to be, and to understand what I need and want in life. So like, as I'm building my foundation, I'm very intentional about how I'm doing that, so that I'm setting myself up to thrive, setting myself up for what's important to me in the long run. With acceptance, it allows you to do that, because when we're fighting against a situation for what it is, we waste so much energy on that, and like, what's taking so long? What am I doing wrong? All of these types of energies, it's like you're fighting the situation for what it is, and that doesn't help. It is helpful, however, to look clearly at the situation, just accept it for what it is, so that you can look at it without being triggered by it, and get a clear sense of like what your next step is with the full picture. Because at the end of the day, these times where the universe, the earth, we make ourselves wait, are times of gathering feedback and clarity. Clarity is another concept that I taught, one of the first concepts in mental wholeness, that when we're experiencing something that we don't like, or we're experiencing something that we don't want, it's a great opportunity to use that to say, what would I love to have happen instead? And when I'm going through a period of life where I'm waiting and it's unclear what is happening, why I'm waiting, and what might need to shift or whatever, I just use it I really try to use it as an opportunity to build that kind of clarity, to use it as feedback, to say, like, what is important to me in life? What do I actually want to work towards? Because, there's always going to be something. There are always going to be challenges in any situation. When you have what you want, when you have what you're working towards right now, you're still going to look at what is coming next. You're always going to have desires, and being able to sit in the discomfort of like the middle time and gathering feedback and clarity in those times is incredibly powerful. And, another thing I want you to do if you are thinking, what's taking so long? Something that I've really been sitting with a lot lately is looking at self-sabotage. Where am I holding myself back? Where am I doing things that don't support where I'm going? How do I take myself out at the last minute when it's just about to happen, but I pull back instead of leaning in further? Like, where are those moments? For me, I've been realizing a lot lately about my relationship with alcohol. That will also be another episode, I'm sure. Because I have a feeling that I'm not alone in being a person who can use alcohol to self-sabotage at times, or at least a player in my scene of self-sabotage. But really, like, the question isn't even if you're self-sabotaging, it's how. Because if there's anything that you want that you don't already have, there's something that is preventing you from having that. And yes, I understand that there are like systemic issues that prevent people from having what they want. But the core essence of what you want is available to you right now, because you can tap into the feeling of having that. You can bring the qualities into your life right now. So, and that's the way to like bring the bigger things in, right? Is to prioritize it now. Start intentionally feeling it, bringing the qualities of it in right now, making it a priority in your life. So if you're not allowing yourself to do that, then there's a reason why. It might not feel safe. It might not be something that you've ever experienced before, this thing that you want. And, again, you might just throw your hands up at a certain point and take yourself out by asking, what's taking so long? What am I doing wrong? And that can be the way that you're sabotaging yourself, right? So I would really encourage you to take an honest look at that. And I definitely have ways to support you if you need that. So reach out, please. Again, that's something that there's some support around in conscious wholeness. I have a worksheet that I always go to that's called Spot Self-Sabotage Before It Sinks Your Ship. I taught a free class, actually. If you want to go do some digging, there's a class about self-sabotage on my Facebook page, and I think it might be on my YouTube as well. Old videos, maybe I'll link to them in the show notes, so check it out. But yeah, that's a great tool when you notice something like this. But essentially, when you know that you're self-sabotaging, it's really useful to look at the emotions that you're feeling when you are in this pattern. So like, what are the things that lead up to the moment of self-sabotage? How are you feeling in those moments? What is encouraging you to make these self-sabotaging choices? And then in the moments of self-sabotage, what are you feeling? Like, what are you trying to get from those moments? So that way you can have clarity about that, and you can kind of stuff those qualities into your day-to-day so that you don't feel that specific drive to self-sabotage anymore. So for me with alcohol, the lead up would be like, Oh, I'm overwhelmed. It's not happening as quickly as I want it to. I've been working so hard and nothing's happening, blah, 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 blah. And I have so much to do. I am overwhelmed. It's piling up. I can't do this, whatever. And then I need a release, right? I need to just feel free. I need to feel like free of my responsibilities, willing to let my hair down, relaxed, laughing, having fun, things like that. So that's what I'm seeking when I just kind of throw my hands up and have a little alcohol moment, like I have been so nicely sabotaging myself with lately. Pat on the back. Thank you, self-sabotage pattern, for what you've provided. And now I'm ready to build more fun into my life on a day-to-day that has nothing to do with anything outside of myself. I'm ready to prioritize relaxation and support and fun, because when I'm having fun, I am actually more effective. When I'm following what feels good and healthy for my body, what feels right and fun, I always end up getting more done anyway. So there's that. And I'm also going to say connect with support. Yes, boundaries are a big thing here. I'm not going to dive into that because this is getting long and I've got to run. But connect with support. One of the people who's coming to mind, who I was talking to this about the other day, is Hillary Dahl, and she actually is one of the interviews I have coming up for you, so stay tuned for that. We had such a great, juicy conversation. Oh my gosh, I'm sure the vibes are just going to be incredible, so you have to listen to that. But we were talking about this very concept the other day about what is taking so long? And at a certain point, it's like the universe, this is what I was saying, that the universe is teasing me. And, it's so good because my life is incredible the way that it is. Truly, really, truly. I have so many blessings in my life. It's incredible, especially considering how much I have struggled over the recent years. The fact that my life is as incredible and good as it is, I blow myself away. But, I said to her, I was like, it's like the universe is teasing me, here, you can have this, you can have this, you can have this. And at a certain point, you're just like, come on, universe, fuck me already, right? So there you go. And have somebody who you can have those conversations with. And Hillary gets it. And so what we did, this is something that I am doing to, add a little lighter fluid to the fire, right? To get things moving. We decided to do a daily morning abundance practice, which has been absolutely incredible. So far, EFT tapping is something that I've been doing every morning. I've picked back up writing every single morning and really putting systems in place that allow me to be successful. So for a while I had my phone next to my bed and I was falling asleep with my phone and I was waking up with my phone, and that doesn't work for me anymore. So now I sleep with my phone in the other room. I have a notebook next to my bed, so very first thing in the morning I can wake up and I can start my abundance practice as I write. Kind of do a morning dump session with the writing, I get everything out of my brain onto the paper, and then do some sort of visualization. This is something that I absolutely love to pair with a self-pleasure practice, and then I'll do some EFT tapping. I might do some additional abundance writing. There are some other things, but this is something that I am doing every single morning. I've been doing it for maybe 5 days now, and it feels absolutely incredible. So you'll have to stay tuned to hear how that turns out. I think that there is a lot of wisdom at the end of the day in just accepting, like I said, like sometimes these things just take a long time. Sometimes when we're working on a big goal, it takes a while, and stay the course. Trust yourself. If you believe in what you are doing, then keep doing it. If it feels right and good to you, don't let anybody tell you that it's not what you should be doing. Trust yourself first and foremost. And I think that's all I have for you today. I hope that this was helpful. Again, stay tuned for my interview with Hillary. That's going to be incredible. I've got a lot of great interviews coming up for you. I have an interview I'll be starting to edit today with one of my very best friends, Matt Raymond Goodman. I'm super excited to share all of that with you. Check the links in the bio for anything in the bio. Check the links in the show notes for anything I might have mentioned, for ways to connect with me. I would love to help you just be as successful as you possibly can in the world in a way that nurtures you, in a way that feels good every step along the way of the journey, in a way that allows you to arrive with all of your important relationships, all of your priorities intact. That's what I'm here for. And I really appreciate you listening. I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Until next time, take very good care. Bye.